A niche within a niche is a very tough business to start. So I am the founder of FoodTechConnect, which is a media company and a network for innovators that are transforming the business of food. So what we do is news and analysis, events, custom research, and a soon-to-launch member network that focuses on how technology is transforming every part of food from farm to plate and connects people from the worlds of technology, food, health, and agriculture together. So we will focus on our editorial. Will feature interviews with startups that are in the space, interviews with stakeholders. So if there's a farmer, most startups in the space don't really know what a farmer's needs are. So being able to highlight those issues, or restaurateurs, interviews with investors, and then we do events. So we do a number of different events. We do hackathons, which I'll get into in a little bit. I'll walk through our marquee event, Hack Meet. We do a monthly meetup, and we do innovation dinners that bring people together from all these different worlds and give them a unique place and space to connect and explore key challenges in the area. And then this year, we're also going to be launching an urban retreat in Brooklyn, which again brings all these people together in a unique way. So I started this as a blog 3 years ago and wasn't really sure, didn't think I was starting a business, wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it, but people started crawling out of the woodwork as I started writing about the space and telling me what they were working on. So I continued writing and started to interview them to feed this growing hunger to figure out who else was in the space. And we had the meetup group, and it was growing in popularity, so we decided, okay, let's do some more events. So I think the first major event was at South by Southwest, where we had 200 people sign up, and I somehow got probably about $5,000 worth of sponsorship, and it was a huge success, and people said, when's your next event? So then we decided to do a hackathon, and I think I had like $1,000 worth of sponsorship for that. So I wasn't making a lot of money in the beginning, but it was a huge success, and people again said, when's your next event? And so we started to scale up, and I started to partner with other people that were also doing events and who had expertise in this area, and that helped us to really grow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through what one of my sponsorship decks looks like, and then I can kind of talk about how we sell that, what the revenue streams look like, and then talk about some of the lessons that I've learned, because it's hard. It takes a lot of time to build enough sponsorship to make it sustainable where you can hire people. So this is for an event that we're going to be doing during Internet Week, and we start by saying who we are, and then we really focus on our network, right? Because that's what you're selling to people when someone's going to be sponsoring an event. They're looking at who are they going to connect with, or what kind of media attention can they get for it. And so we like to focus through our events, that some of them we've done for free, some of them have been paid. We've been able to build up relationships with senior executives at all of these organizations. So that's really marketable to people. And before we used to list them out now, but if you see logos, and that's really, it's more impactful. An overview of the event, who's going to be there, why, what you're doing. Getting into typical attendees. So if you can start to break it down into, who's there, what percentage are male, female, what their income is, you can start to give a good picture of who the audience will be. And then you get into the partnering with us. And I'm going to show you a slide from another deck. This is a smaller event, so we just offered 2 tiers. But when you're offering sponsorship, I always think it's really important to offer a lot of tiers, because initially, people aren't going to want to give you a lot of money. They've never worked with you, and they generally commit a lot of their sponsorship dollars early in the year, around January, when they're setting their budget. So they have a little left over, but they want to be careful, because there are a lot of events out there. There's a lot of stuff they could be doing. So generally, like with this other event that we're doing, we offer lots of different ways, lots of different touch points for people. to get involved. So, anything from if they wanted to sponsor a meal, or if it's media, where they still get a lot of benefits, a lot of exposure, or, a startup, or someone who wants to be a supporting sponsor can put in $5,000. And this is all negotiable, right? So we'll say, if someone says, okay, we don't have that amount of money, but we really want to be involved, and we'll reach out to our network, and we'll, send emails on your behalf, and we'll make introductions. We can always make make arrangements with people so that if it furthers the event and our network. And a lot of big companies, the largest company that we work with, the amount of sponsorship dollars that they've given us has raised, we've increased it 230% over the last year, which is kind of crazy. So we went from starting at $40,000 to we're now up to close to $100,000 in just a year, so they got a lot of value out of the event. And that's, everyone now. I mean, we were talking to really big companies, and even if they're only willing to put in $5,000, at least if they have come in and they have a great experience with us, and they're able to connect with great people, and they're able to realize some kind of value for their own company, then that's a success, and they're much more likely to spend bigger amounts of money for us in the future. And that's why also, as we know that we're building towards this conference, which is really expensive. It's like if we do it right, it's between $500,000 and $700,000. In order to do that, we need big money. So doing a lot of smaller events where we can get people engaged ahead of time has become really critical for us. And then the other thing is letting people know, giving them the bigger picture. So, an event is kind of a one-off thing, but everyone wants to build a relationship, right? It's really hard to vet potential projects, or sponsorship investments. And so you want to know that you're building a continued relationship. Big companies want to build a continued relationship with an organization. They want to know that there are other things in the pipeline, that there's they have larger entree into your network. And so we always say that this is just one part of this larger vision where we are connecting these diverse stakeholders together, and not pitching them for right now. I mean, initially we wanted to sell sponsorship for an entire year, but that's really difficult to do because, again, until it just takes time to be able to get to that point with a sponsor. But letting them know that there are other events in the pipeline also makes it more likely for them to want to sponsor an initial event to get a taste of what it's like working with you. And that's it. Yeah, I mean, as much as you can, like Tim O'Reilly, Jen Palco, or at my dinner at South by Southwest, always, if you have any photos that you can share of people who are, celebrities or thought leaders in the space, it helps to further validate what you're doing. So my 3 lessons: start small and build up a valuable community that you can offer to your sponsors. Not start small. You should offer tiered sponsorships, but expect to start small, but still put those big numbers out there because it looks like you value yourself, and events are really expensive to put on. Their time sucks, and it just takes a while before you're able to make them really profitable. Partnerships, again, I've partnered with my Applegate, which is a big funder of ours. I've partnered with them. They have given me lots of introductions. I got their PR team. We had our first PR team for this hackathon that I did last year, and we landed in, we got a forward in the New York Times. Now their PR team loves me, so they're giving me deals on other stuff. So it was a great way to leverage their resources to expand our brand. And then finally, every no gets you closer to a yes. So I get lots of no's all the time, and I'm getting comfortable with it. But what I do, every time I get a no, I'm asking why, and then I look at how I can refine my offering, and or am I talking to the wrong people?
Any questions? Any questions? You got quiet all of a sudden? Wow.
Yeah, I can make it available.
That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so the events are, we're using them as a gateway to build out other products, but it's really tough because it's a small niche community. Food is very highly political. So advertisers, right? The people who want to put money into it, I mean, I even have this issue with sponsors. There are a lot of companies that I can't have as advertisers or as sponsors because their practices are fundamentally opposed to some of our basic ideology, although we want them in the conversation. So like a big company like Coca-Cola, for example, I can't have Coca-Cola sponsor one of our events, but they have the biggest marketing budgets, right? Those companies do. And so what we're doing is we're using the events, we're building out a network now, so a membership network. And we're going to be using the events as this tool to have a network of users. Sorry, let me start again. Okay, our membership network will be giving people access to quarterly events, guaranteed access to our conference, and then we're going to put out a State of the Industry report. We've already built, people love our events, so they will be willing to pay the price that we're going to be charging for membership, which is going to be between $400 and $3,000 based on the level of membership that you have. Once we have this active community, it's much easier for us to put out products because we can test it within the community. So if we wanted to put out a product, like we're going to be putting out a database to start off with of all the companies in the space, all the deal flow. Is this something that people care about? We can also ask people, what are you looking for? Right? We have this built-in audience. And then when I go to raise a small amount of seed capital, I can say, look at who's in my network, right? So Tim O'Reilly has already agreed to be in the network. He's not going to pay to be in the network, but when other people see that he's in the network, then you know that you have a very valuable community. And so that's where the events, it's a way to, connect people, especially when it's something that's new. People want connections. But then it's taking it to that next step if you're building a media company of what's the tie-in? How does this integrate with your content? And then what's the revenue stream? How do you make that scalable? Because events in and of themselves are not scalable.
I'm just wondering if you have any models, anyone you look to that you think is doing this kind of business model really well.
Yeah, Media Bistro did it really well. And Laurel is a good friend and mentor. I think, GigaOM, X-Economy, they're all, like, most people, conferences are a huge part of their business. It's still, it's difficult. It's difficult because they're incredibly expensive to put on. But they're making it work.
No other questions?
Definitely. When I say that, I want Coke to be a part of the conversation. And it's just, there are certain organizations that are polarizing a little bit. And so we just have to be very careful. So like a food company, like a Nestle, we could partner with. Coke is a little bit different. Like there's varying shades of gray.